The US is clearly supporting renewed Pakistan-India dialogue. What would the administration be willing to do and not do to move this dialogue process forward?
So we welcome that dialogue, but again, as we've always said, the pace and the scope and the structure of that dialogue and of their relations will really be up to those two countries to decide.
For example, Pakistan has been talking about greater US involvement in the Kashmir dispute, and they want the US to take a more active role in solving that.
Again, that will really be up to the two countries to work on themselves. I think before Mumbai, there was a great deal of progress that was made, and so we welcome that progress, and certainly we hope the two countries can get back to that situation again.
So if Pakistan asks you to be more active in the Kashmir issue, what would you say to them?
I'll tell them what I just told you.
Which would be?
That it's up to the two countries to work on this together.
India has concerns. It sees Pakistan cracking down on the Taliban, but doesn't see the government effectively cracking down on terrorist groups that target India, for example, the Lashkar. How can the US help?
With respect to what's going on in Pakistan, the United States is very encouraged by the progress that Afghanistan has made in the Swat Valley to take on extremists and militants there. And we think it's encouraging as well that those actions have the support of the Pakistani people, and that those in fact have led to increased support for President Zardari and his team. So we hope that increased popular support in Pakistan for the anti-terrorist actions that Pakistan is taking will help them to sustain progress to ensure that Pakistani territory is not used by extremists and militants as a base to attack neighboring countries.
India, the Indian government, has voiced concerns about proposed US aid to Pakistan, and they want some kind of safeguards or assurances from the administration, the US administration, that the aid will not likely be used against India. Is there any way that you could give them this assurance? What are the safeguards in place that would help you determine how that aid is being used and if that aid is actually not being used against India?
Well, first of all, I'd like to stress that if there's any new aspect to our aid to Pakistan is that we're going to have a much greater focus on economic assistance to Pakistan to help basically to help the government, to help itself, and to help the Pakistani people. So India obviously should not in any way be concerned about increased economic assistance to Pakistan. This will help to counter the extremist threat inside Pakistan, and that certainly benefits India. In terms of how it's going to be monitored, this is a subject of great scrutiny in our own Congress here, as you know. You follow the debates closely. And so there's a great focus in the U.S. Congress to make sure that the money that is allocated by Congress is spent for the purposes that is allocated. So again, I don't think that India needs to have any concerns about that aid being diverted to some other program that might somehow damage the interests of India.
There is some military aid as well, right? How would
Correct.
that likely be used? And would there be transparency for the administration to be able to account or to get accounts of how that money is being spent?
There will be. And again, the focus is exclusively on improving the counterinsurgency and counter-terrorist capabilities of Pakistan to fight the militants who are inside Pakistan, who are threatening Pakistan primarily, but also other countries such as the United States and India.